Now, McLaren is a very popular name for us motorsport fans, and if you've been watching Formula One for as long as I have, which has been decades, then you're already familiar with it. But it's a special day because McLaren has just debuted in India with their very first showroom right here in Mumbai. So let's take a look at what's on display. Infinity Cars dealership in Mumbai is the only authorized McLaren touchpoint in India, which will provide customers with sales, after-sales and service. On display at this dealership is the entry-level sports car McLaren GT, the supercars 720S Spider and the 765 LT Spider. The entry-level offering from McLaren in India is what you see behind me, the GT. Now this strikes a perfect balance between practicality and performance. And if you're talking about performance, it houses a 4-litre V8 twin-turbo engine that sprints to 100 kmph in just 3.2 seconds flat. The chassis is built with lightweight carbon fiber material that makes the sports tourer quicker than others in its segment. It also offers up 620 PS of power and 630 Nm of torque, which can be enjoyed to a top speed of 328 km per hour. Good luck though finding a road in India that lets you touch such speed. What you see right behind me is the McLaren 720S Spider, and it is a race car for the road. And it is also the best-selling model globally, and it's not hard to see why. The 720S is the core model in McLaren Super Series, and every curve and form is shaped to manage airflow. What adds to the visual drama of this charismatic supercar are the butterfly doors. The design screams out its intent to deliver high-level performance, which comes alive when you start up the mid-mounted 4-litre twin-turbo V8, which growls out 720 horsepower and 770 Nm of torque. It's capable of sprinting to 100 kph in 2.9 seconds. And it also gives you an option to enjoy a wind in your hair experience thanks to its retractable hardtop. In the Super Series lineup, McLaren India is also offering the more track-focused McLaren 765 LT. The aerodynamics of the supercar make it lighter and more powerful than the 720S that it's based on. The most attractive characteristic of the supercar is its rear end with centrally mounted 4-round exhaust pipes, and if you're wondering what a slight nudge to the throttle sounds like, here's a very mild take. It's a showroom, so we couldn't expect the true menacing growl that a racetrack would be familiar with. But this beast houses a 4-litre V8 twin-turbo M840T engine that produces a mammoth 765 PS of power at 8,500 RPM and 800 Nm of torque at 5,500 RPM. It is capable of sprinting to 100 kmph in just 2.8 seconds. McLaren also plans to bring the Artura, the brand's first hybrid model, to India early next year, making their pledge towards carbon neutrality, albeit in a small way. I caught up with Paul Harris, MD of the APAC region and China at McLaren Automotive, and Lalit Choudary, Chairman and CEO Infinity Cars, to know more about the British brand's journey into India. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. My first question to you, Mr. Harris, is that we have been hearing rumors of McLaren entering Indian market for almost 10 years now. Why has it taken McLaren so long to enter the market?
Yeah, I think it's all about right time, right place, and right partner, and I think that that all came together about 18 months ago, and so we were able to announce Lalit and the Infinity team. I think they're a perfect partner for us. Mumbai is the perfect location, and we're in a perfect situation in terms of the development of the market as well. The growth of the rich, the growth of the sports car market, the understanding of this market. It's all come together in a synergistic way. So for us, it's the perfect time.
Okay. And Mr. Choudary, you've been in this industry for a decade now. You've studied it. So can you tell me what's the industry been like? What's the growth been like in this luxury car market?
So the industry started off with great promise 10-15 years ago, right? And then it's stuttered around for a while in the 2010 to 2020 era. And then COVID came along, and I think COVID has been a great reboot for the industry, for the segment in general. A lot more consumption, a lot more desire to upgrade in their consumption, and that's manifested itself in brands recording their best numbers in India over the last year or two. So to Paul's point, I think the timing couldn't have been better, and the Indian consumer is willing to consume the best that the automotive world has to offer and is willing to pay for it, but wants what's on latest offer internationally. And that's what we have here.
You have a great collection of cars right here, which are going to be sold from Mumbai. But what I'd like to know from both of you is that which of the models do you think will be preferred by the potential buyers in India?
I mean, we only make 3 model lines as it stands at the moment in the more what I call series production. So we have 720S here today, we have GT here today, and then shortly in the first quarter next year is the all-new Artura, which is a combination of art and future in the naming. I think, to be honest with you, that the Artura is probably the product line that is going to be the most appealing to India in that it's hybridized, but it's hybridized in a way whereby you do have flexibility, but it's also no compromise in relation to the performance of a McLaren. So still lightweight, still incredible performance capabilities, but also that ability to turn on to full electric mode when you need it.
And what is your understanding of the Indian market and the hybridization of it? Do you think there's a market for hybrid models and supercars especially?
Yeah, so the first lot of cars that we've already put on the roads here are the 720, the GT that you already see. And these are internal combustion engines, right? And we're very confident that the consumers who've already acquired these cars are very happy with the ownership experience. We don't see why it would be any different for the Artura. There is a growing segment of population who would like to focus on decarbonization as a theme. And hybridization of a vehicle is one step towards that theme. It doesn't take away from those that want to enjoy the ICE experience, but at the same time, for somebody who wants to acquire the latest in technology and are conscious about decarbonization as a theme, hybrid offers a fantastic alternative. And McLaren's built a name for itself in being at the cutting edge of technology. So I'm sure a car coming in from McLaren on the hybrid front will be received very favorably.
I'll take it a step further and I'll talk about electrification, because that is something that everybody wants to know. Most of your peers have moved to the electrification front, but with an SUV body style. So we have been hearing rumors that McLaren is already thinking of an electric SUV. Is that true, and is that something you can tell us something more about it?
Well, I don't think we want to speculate about future models beyond Artura as it stands at the moment. I think we're a sports car brand, and that's where our DNA has been, built and developed. Of course, the industry and the segments and the structure of the segments change, and no doubt that SUV has grown. In terms of powertrains, of course we see a development towards electrification. Now that's predominantly driven by some changes in legislation, a need and a want and an understanding of the requirement to decarbonise, etc. For sports car brands, though, that are relatively limited usage, relatively small volumes, etc., it's a bit more of a challenge because electrification doesn't necessarily lend itself to lightweight. So the battery in itself at the moment in current technology is very heavy. So before we make any steps at the moment, I think that we are concentrating on our hybrid capabilities, remembering that we have a hybrid history dating back to 2014. So we've got a lot of experience, and I think Artura is the coming together of all that experience in the best that we can do in that sector, and that will carry on for a number of years ahead. So beyond that, there is no speculation. That's where we are today.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.